Yo, what's up, everybody? Hello. I know it's late, Jim, today. Dang, it's 12:30. Thank you so much for being here. Hopefully, you guys are all having a wonderful start to your day, or I guess middle of your day at this point. Sheesh. Got home from Texas. Yo, what's up, Jack? The 2 years. Devo with the Prime sub. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. And we got a raid. Yo, thanks, Charles. That's cool. Gazer with the raid. Yo, what's up? Thank you, Gazer Beam, for that raid. Thank you guys all so much for the love. Duskflyer, Devo, Jack with those subs. Amik, Charles. Thank you guys so much. Thank you. Hopefully you guys are all having a busted day so far. Yo, what's up, Jacob? Hopping in there with the 5 gifties. Chat, get some hype going for Jacob. Salavian, 538 total gifted subs so far to the channel. I appreciate you, Jacob. It was a pleasure seeing you again. It was a pleasure seeing you at the Arlington Regional Championships. Thank you, Long Dirt Harry, for that Prime sub as well. It was a great weekend. It was a heartbreaking weekend. It was a lot of things. And here I am to weave the tale. Thank you, Sepepin, for that Prime sub. First of all, no work today, so you just get to chill. That's sick. Thank you, J Cubed, for that tier 1 sub in the 20 months. Appreciate you. Yeah, it was awesome. It was awesome. I was so proud of us as a team. And that's the thing that a lot of people might not understand from the outside looking in, is that me and... Honestly, I like doing this better than vlogs, right? Because I get to just kind of like, we could look at it all after the fact. Me and my testing group, it's always friends first, okay? It's always friends first. With our testing groups, with our tournament performances, it's always friendship first. Always. Now, you might ask, how does that apply? What does that mean in practice? I love that you guys, or I understand that you guys might, like, that sounds nice, but what does that mean, right? What does it mean, friendship first in a testing group in Pokemon cards? Thank you, Merkowitz, for that tier 1 sub in the 22 months. I appreciate you. So what friendship first means is that we're not out recruiting people for our testing group and for our team because we think that they're going to help us, like, get the next regional winning deck. We're not going to exclude one of our good friends from the group because they don't have the finishes that the rest of the group has. So what that means in practice, Brady Botner is one of our good friends locally. He had never day 2'd a regional championship, but we brought him into the fold and allowed him to test with us and, gave him access to all of our decks and all of that because he's our good friend, right? Similarly, Jesse Parker is in the hunt for his first big regional finish, and he hasn't gotten that yet, but we've brought him into the fold because he's somebody who is our friend and we work closely with. So it's like, it's friendships first. It's not about, like, we're not out there trying to recruit other people. We're trying to invest in our friendships and have our friends perform to the best of their ability, if that makes sense, right? So now sometimes your friends happen to be really good. But it didn't start that way. I mean, with people, with, like, JW and Riley and I, we weren't always good. We just, we worked together to get there, So it's always friendships first when it comes to everything. That's how we operate. Yo, what's up? Shinrai. It's a pleasure to meet you this past weekend. Thank you. And thank you, Marks My Soul, for that Prime sub. So, you may, other applications of friendships first. Okay. It's Shinrai. I know, you told me how to say it. I'm just going to say Shin. Yeah. You said it was like Shin or Shinrai. I think it's Shinrai. Yes. Thank you, Clam Burglar, for that sub. And I'm so stoked that you had fun. You went 4-1 with fire. It was the best time you ever had playing Pokemon cards. Congrats, Clam Burglar. And I'm glad you had fun. That's sick. Anybody else get to play It's Whatever I Will It to Be? That's what's up. Anybody else get to play some Gym Leader Challenge at the Arlington Regional Championships? I did. I had a lot of fun doing it. That was great. Yo, we got a level 1 hype train. Dang, you guys are crazy. Oh, I heard TRG. Yeah, had a great time playing Gym Leader Challenge as well. A lot of first-time Gym Leader Challenge players out there. That was awesome to see. So, yes. Our testing group is always friends first. Another way that might apply is we're not going to go trying to weasel our way into other friend groups or whatever just to try and get their lists and things like that. It's like, no, we're keeping it, we're keeping it within our group. We're investing in each other. Obviously we can work together with other people, but when you get to the top kind of realm, you have to be somewhat secretive, and it's done so with a level of respect, right? I'm really good friends with Azul and Caleb, right? Great friends with those guys. Love those guys. I love them so much that I would never ask them what they're playing before a regional championship, right? Because I respect their group. In the same way, they would never ask me what I'm playing because they respect our group. We respect each other's groups, right? Yeah, thank you, Hero, for that Prime sub in the 23 months. What? We respect each other. So I'm not going to ask you what you're going to play because I know better. Obviously, you wouldn't tell me just like I wouldn't tell you, right? Because that's a certain amount of the skill of the Pokemon trading card game is deciding what you're going to play before game day, right? So I love Caleb and Azul. We're great friends. We hang out. But I respect, the boundaries of their group just like they respect the boundaries of our group, right? So part of it is when you get to that point and about these teams, right, that work together, part of you is trying to predict what another team is going to play. And if you expect that, at the top level that you're going to see members of that team, you want to be able to have a good matchup against whatever that team is bringing. So there's a certain level of opacity that kind of has to exist amongst the, top levels of competitive Pokemon trading card game playing. Just like a football team is not just going to make public their playbook, right? They're not just going to give that information out freely to their opponents, right? You would never do that. It's the same thing, and like before a football game, you're never going to have like one team's coach go up to another team's coach and be like, "Hey, you mind if I just like get a rundown of you guys' playbook before the game?" Like, no. Of course not. It's about teamwork, okay? So that's something that I think really helps develop as a player, especially if you are trying to get to that top level. Having a team or a group of friends, really, it just needs a group of friends, right? Because that's how teams form, or ought to form, in my mind, because they're going to be more meaningful to you than just a simple business transaction. Like you're going through these journeys together. You're traveling together. A lot of times you're rooming together. You're testing together. Yeah. So like, obviously, as you travel around the world with these people, you're going to grow closer to them. Thank you, Kyle, for that tier 3 sub and the 44 months. Appreciate you, Kyle. Thank you. Boyish Good Look says, my team is me and my son, and he's terrible. Right. So for your team, it's family first. So that's the premise going into this weekend, is that my Pokemon trading card game career has always been friendships first. Always. I'm not going to say, like, for example, right? For example, and I'm giving lots of examples, but for example, say like, Azul and Caleb and Grant, were like, hey, Andrew, we'll offer you into our group, but you can't share any of our details with your other friends. I would say no every time, right? Because it's friendships first. It's not like we're not like out here just like looking to wheel and deal and try to like rub shoulders with the most accomplished players in the world. We're just trying to do the best by our friends, right? And that makes the experience much more rewarding when the friends do well. And it gives you perspective on the reason why you compete in the first place. So I had a lot of people ask me what I was going to play this weekend, right? And I had played Mew VMAX for the previous 3 regional championships. But this weekend, JW was like, I can't play Mew. We cannot do it. It's not the right climate for Mew. We need to shelf Mew. I really didn't want to do that. I was like, come on, man. Ain't there any way we can play Mew? And JW was like, I really, really don't feel like it's the right weekend for Mew. People are going to have Drapions in their decks, not just for Mew VMAX, but also for Mewtwo V Union, as both of those cards are weak to darkness, right? So as comfortable as we were as a team with Mew VMAX, JW was kind of leading the charge within our group to not play Mew VMAX. So we started assessing our other options, which included Lugia V-Star, Lost Box, or Control, really, were the 3 other options. Yeah, basically. We also dipped our toes into some, we also took a look briefly at some other, tier 2 archetypes, tier 3 archetypes. we looked at Arceus, Duraludon, VMAX briefly and decided that deck is just not nearly good enough to consider for a regional. We looked at quad Weezing decks and decided that they didn't apply enough pressure to be realistic options. We even looked at Aerodactyl style decks, but Fusion Strike Mew can just draw around that by attaching Fusion Strike energy to their Genesect, and I think that inherently bothered me as well. So I didn't even really like any of those ability locking options because there are ways for Mew VMAX to get around them. Mew VMAX can draw through Weezing and Aerodactyl. We also very closely considered Regigigas. That's true. Heading into the tournament, JW and Riley concluded that we ought to play Regigigas on I want to say Tuesday. On Tuesday, the week of, JW and Riley we're playing Regis. 100%. And then my counter argument to that was the only reason you want to play Regis is because you are assuming that none of the Lugia players are going to play Dunsparce. And I made the case to our team who was attending. So the team that was attending this regional was just me, JW, and Riley. It was just the three amigos. It was just the three stooges, if you will. All right, so we have this dynamic, right? So on Tuesday, JW and Riley are we're definitely playing Regigigas because it just beats the Lugia decks that aren't playing Dunsparce. And then I countered that logic by saying, okay, you think that Regigigas beats Lugia, but you are saying that all of these Lugia lists are going to be predictable and the same. And when you're talking about a deck that could realistically make up a third of a 1,200 player tournament, you're talking about 400 players playing Lugia V-Star. You cannot with accuracy say they will all not be playing Dunsparce. So even if, say, 50% of the Lugia lists or 40% of the Lugia lists are playing Dunsparce, then you're still talking about a couple hundred people, which is crazy. Thank you, Twin VXS, for that tier 2 sub in the 22 months. So I made that counter argument and we did some testing, and I was playing a Lugia list with Dunsparce against JW playing Regigigas, and with both Dunsparce and Manaphy, the Regigigas matchup felt very good for Lugia V-Star. And we expected that a decent number of players would come to the Regigigas conclusion because of the kind of natural routes with Lugia decks not playing Dunsparce, making Regigigas kind of a unexpected play that could potentially do well. So we kind of came to that conclusion early in the week. But I never liked the way that Regigigas played. I felt like it was inconsistent. I felt like it was working too hard to win games. So instead of wanting to play Regigigas, I was kind of leaning towards just playing a Lugia deck that beats Regigigas. So I was thinking, all right, players are by and large expecting that Lugia decks will not play Dunsparce, but I think that is a mistake because you can't predict with accuracy what 400 decks will look like when you're saying Lugia decks, because Lugia, by nature is kind of this toolbox deck that you can play however you want to. You can literally put whatever Pokemon in a Lugia deck you want and attack with them. That's how crazy a Lugia deck is. So I didn't feel comfortable predicting what the Lugia decks would look like exactly. So that made me want to just play Lugia because I was thinking that other players are going to feel confident that their Regigigas decks are going to beat Lugia or that their Lost Box techs are going to beat Lugia. But why don't we just play a Lugia deck that beats those techs for Lugia? So that's where I started leaning. I'd say that's where I started leaning. But I still really wanted to play Mew. And then on Thursday, we took our flight to Texas. I flew to Texas on Thursday with the shop, and I forgot to bring my Lugia deck. I brought 2 Lost Box decks, and I brought my Mew VMAX deck, and I brought everything we needed to play Regigigas, but I completely forgot my Lugia deck. Thank you, Calvatron, for that Prime sub in the 14 months. And then as soon as we landed, I was, and I had the whole plane to think about things, and I started getting the decks together. The more and more I started to come to the realization that I thought we were probably going to play Lugia. So then I had to take a trip over to the Full Grip Games booth and place my, and start to piece the deck together, which was great. And I was able to do that just fine. So a lot of people asked me on Friday. A lot of people asked me on Friday. The event hall was open on Friday. There was the Gym Leader Challenge side event, which I participated in, had a ton of fun. I went 4-0 with my busted Psychic deck, had some great opponents, and I was able to win this lovely Bidoof from the prize wall with my winnings. So that was a great start to the weekend. I also heard that this is apparently a shiny Bidoof because its nose is red. I don't know if that's true or not, but it does kind of look shiny, I guess. So the more you know. Is this a shiny Bidoof? I think it is. There you go. He's nice. He's so soft. But again, I had a bunch of people asking me what deck I was going to play over the weekend. And every time I responded, I don't know. And a lot of people thought I was being disingenuous or like, oh, you just don't want to tell me, or whatever, I get it. But no, really, on Friday, I didn't know what deck I was playing. And my group had done some preliminary testing leading up to the event. We had decided for the most part that we didn't want to play Mew and that we would have rather played Regigigas, Lost Box, or Lugia. I'd say those were kind of the 3 decks that were on the table heading into Friday night. So then Riley and JW got in after the Gym Leader Challenge event. We got together, we had dinner, and over dinner, we started spitballing about which decks we thought were going to be best positioned to win the event. At dinner, we really started to lean pretty hard into the Lugia camp, and we had kind of come to the conclusion just by talking about things that Lugia was probably going to be the play for this weekend, especially since it somewhat underperformed at Toronto. So then we ate dinner, we went back to the hotel, and JW and I spread out our Lugia lists. And JW, Riley, and I sat around the table looking at the lists for probably 2 hours. And we discussed every single card in the deck and talked about whether or not that card deserved to be there. And once we kind of talked about general direction of the list, do we want to go a heavy path build, or do we want to go a lower stadium build? Do we want to value path removal, tool removal? Are we playing Radiant Charizard and Amazing Yveltal? Once we kind of answered those big questions about the deck, we started to really narrow in on various counts. And after a couple hours of putting our heads together, this is the list that we came up with. We wanted a consistent, no-nonsense list that was going to have an answer to Regigigas, which was Dunsparce. We wanted to shore up the Mew VMAX matchup by adding the Drapion V. We all knew that the Mew VMAX matchup was not good. And we knew this because we all went undefeated against Lugia in Toronto, right? Like we all just wiped the floor with Lugia in Toronto. So we knew that Lugia's Mew matchup was kind of sketchy. So we put the Drapion into the deck, and with the Drapion, the Mew matchup was quite good. We also knew that we wanted at least one switch card to deal with any sort of paralysis shenanigans. So we wanted to play the Bird Keeper, which you can easily search out with Luminion V. If you happen to get paralyzed, it's a nice answer. Always accessible because of the thick ball counts that this deck plays. We knew early on that we were going to play 4 Evolution Incense, 4 Quick Ball, 4 Ultra Ball, and 4 Archeops, and 4 Lugia V. Though we did briefly discuss a 3-3 Lugia V-Star line, I was a big defender of 4-2. And the real reason that we ended up on 4-2 instead of 3-3 or 4-3 is that you only ever really need to get one Lugia V-Star in play. And then the rest of the game, you just play without attacking with Lugia. Yo, thank you, Caldwell, for that sub in the 38 months. Really appreciate that. You don't need more than 2 Lugia V-Star because you only need 1 Lugia V-Star per game. To give you an example, I'll ask the question, how many Pikarom did Pikarom used to play? I'll wait. How many Pikarom did Pikarom used to play? And the answer to that question is 2. Why? Because you only need 1. You could attack with 2 if you needed to sometimes, because you could get them both out. But Pikarom only ever played 1. Why? Because you only need 1. Really, Pikarom would use full blitz, power up the rest of the homies, and then dip out. That was pretty much it. So, we talked extensively about the Lugia V-Star count, and we decided that we wanted 4-2. The reason we wanted 4 Lugia V was because you want to have access to it on the first turn of the game, and this deck does not draw a ton of cards. It's not like Mew VMAX where you're just seeing infinite cards. You just have to have the cards at the right time. So playing low counts of cards that you need to see on turn 1 is not a great idea in our mind. So we wanted to go with 4 Lugia V. Also increased the odds that you could get out 2 Lugia V if you were going second against Mew V Max or Lugia V Star. But what we found is against Mew V Max, you still didn't really need 2 Lugia V down because you could just go Lugia V and Drapion, and you could attack with Drapion turn 1 going second against Mew. I mean, it was really powerful because if you are able to take a knockout with Drapion turn 1 going second against Mew, then they can't really afford to gust your Lugia and knock it out because they have to deal with the Drapion. So super funny. But yes, in most games, in almost all games, you only need 1 Lugia V-Star, and you're going to take the rest of your knockouts with Radiant Charizard, Yveltal. Lumineon is actually one of the best attackers in this deck because it saves your energy. You can use Aqua Return, do 120 damage, and throw the energy right back into the deck. So that's a really good strategy. And you can even attack with Drapion. I mean, I put 4 energy on Drapion to 1-hit KO a Espeon VMAX once. That was pretty sick. You can attack with Drapion. You can attack with Stoutland. You really only need 1 Lugia V-Star. So once we decided on our Lugia accounts and our attackers, we knew we wanted Drapion. We knew we wanted Stoutland. The Oranguru was probably the 60th card, and I'm so thankful that we included this card in the deck. After playing with the deck online, I realized that a lot of times I would capture energy for the Oranguru first. Oranguru was almost always the first Pokemon I searched out when setting up the Lugia deck because it just helps to smooth out your draws with as little kind of draw as you have with this deck. Being able to smooth out the draws, make sure that you can put a research on top of your deck in case you get Marnied, making sure that you can put a Lugia V-Star on top of your deck before you research. All of that was extremely valuable throughout the tournament, so I wouldn't play this deck without Oranguru. It was incredible to have that card. It was just about the 60th card, though, and was on the chopping block for a little bit, but we ended up going with it. And I think the real deciding factor with Oranguru was that if we were only going to play 2 Lugia V-Star, we absolutely had to have this card in the deck because we also really wanted to play 4 research. And something we noticed about a lot of Lugia lists was that they started cutting consistency cards for tech cards. And that's something that we wanted to kind of reject completely because the whole idea of the Lugia deck is that it just needs to set up. I mean, it needs to set up or else it's not doing anything. So we decided that we were going to get to play more games if we played 4 copies of Professor's Research, since this is the most powerful draw card in the deck. It was going to give you more opportunities to get Archeops in the discard pile. It was going to give you more opportunities to set up a Lugia V-Star on turn 2. So we decided early on that we wanted to keep 4 Professor's Research, kind of going with the consistency that Towards LAIC winning list had. We wanted to add the Bird Keeper. I was really not wanting to cut a consistency card for the Bird Keeper. So we did end up cutting a consistency card for the Bird Keeper. It was the second Serena that we cut. And we came to the conclusion to do that because Serena is not a great draw card in this deck. It really is not. It is tough to play. You often find yourself having to discard special energy in order to get any draw off of it. Serena just feels really bad to play. So then you might ask the question, well, why didn't you cut a Boss's Orders since it's not technically a draw card? Why didn't you just keep 2 Serena? And that was my decision, and I kind of led us that way because Boss's Orders allows you to fully maximize Stoutland and its double dip Fang's attack. Like, what's the point of playing this card if you can't use Boss's Orders to bring up the target that you need to take 2 prizes on? And if you're only playing one copy of Boss's Orders, you're going to find that you're not able to make those plays with Stoutland when you need to be able to execute the game. Now, I'm getting some questions in the chat. What about prizing both Lugia V-Star? That did happen to Riley in top 8 in game 2. That is what we call unlucky, all right? That does not happen very often. It's just, it does not happen very often. How is the logic for 4 Archeops? Because you need to see Archeops first before Lugia. Yeah. Prizing both Lugia will happen in about 1 in 100 games. It's just unfortunate. If you play 2 copies of card, yeah, the odds of prizing both, of course, it's always possible. It's possible. It's always possible to 1 in 100 games is decent, though. I mean, yeah, but then you could just, that's just is a game out of a best of 3, you know? Yeah. Technically, you could prize a 3 of. Yeah, you could prize a 4 of. So, yeah. The 4 Archeops is because you win and lose games based on how many Archeops you get in the discard pile. I mean, you have to have 2 Archeops in the discard pile first. In most games, you have to have 2 Archeops in the discard pile first before you get Lugia out. So you need to see those Archeops in your opening hand. You need to see those Archeops paired with Professor's Research. You need to see this card paired with Ultra Ball. You need to. You need to find this card first, then you find this card, right? That's the way that things need to go with this deck. So having 4 Archeops, and it's also different because you only need 1 Lugia V-Star. You only need 1 Lugia V-Star, but you need 2 Archeops. So we play 4 Archeops because you need 2. You play 2 Lugia V-Star because you need 1. And you need to find these before you find this. So that's why these counts make sense. We didn't want to cut a consistency card for Birdkeeper, but Serena made sense since we still had 2 Boss's Orders. Serena's not a great draw card anyways, and we still had our 4 copies of Professor's Research. So cutting the second Serena was a concession that we all felt comfortable making. It was definitely the hardest cut to make in the list, but it was one that we ended up being fine with. Now, another thing that we wanted was 3 Choice Belt, but that was going to be a little bit of a luxury. We knew we could play with 2. I was a huge advocate of 2 Lost Vacuum in the deck. I didn't really like Collapse Stadium, didn't feel like we needed it for anything. But I am a big fan of being able to remove Path to the Peak. If there's anything that I learned playing Mew VMAX against Lugia V-Star, it was that I was winning so many games against Lugia by sticking a path and them doing nothing. So I wanted to have a lot of outs to removing Path to the Peak. I also wanted to smack Duraludon VMAX players because this is something like I've been saying the whole time. This is exactly what I've been saying, is that players are building counter decks to Lugia anticipating that they know exactly what that Lugia list is going to look like. A lot of Duraludon VMAX decks will just put 2 Parasols on 2 Duraludons and say, you don't play 2 Vacuum, you can't knock out both of these. But with 2 Vacuum, you can remove the Parasols from each of those Duraludons and easily lay waste to them with Yveltal. So the way the Arceus Duraludon matchup goes is that if you go first, you knock out the Arceus before they can use Trinity Nova. So at that point, they either have to set up another Arceus, which gives you 2 more prizes, which means that you only need to Yveltal, Lost Vacuum, 1 Duraludon in order to win. And you can just do that. The alternative is that you knock out the Arceus early, and then they set up 2 Duraludons, and they start manually attaching to them, and they put 2 Parasols on their Duraludons, and then you just Lost Vacuum both the Parasols and knock them both out with Yveltal. And it's just that easy. If Arceus Duraludon goes first, they can go first, and they get the turn 2 Trinity Nova, and they power up 1 Duraludon VMAX, right? Then you go Lugia, and you knock out the Arceus. Then they promote Duraludon VMAX, and they swing into Lugia, right? Or knock it out or whatever. And then if things are going perfectly for them, then they will attach a new energy to a new Duraludon VMAX that they have on the bench. Then you use Yveltal, and you Lost Vacuum the Parasol if they have one, and you knock out that active Duraludon VMAX. Then they promote their bench Duraludon VMAX with only 1 energy, because that's all the amount of energy that they could have attached at that point. They promote that, they attach their second energy, and the only way they win is if they have Raihan in their hand, right? They have to have Raihan, because that's how they're going to be able to catch up on the energy attachments so that they can knock out the Yveltal. But if they don't have Raihan in their hand, then they have to sit there with 2 energy attached and maybe a Parasol if they have one, and pass. And that gives you 1 more turn to Lost Vacuum the Parasol if they have one and win the game. So that's how you win the Duraludon matchup right there. You don't need Path to the Peak. All you need to do is be able to Lost Vacuum and Yveltal, and you can race them off the board because Duraludon VMAX is a slow deck. So that's it. And not all Duraludon lists even play a Raihan. Most will play 1. They'll play 1 Raihan. So they have to have the 1 Raihan. They have to have that 1 Raihan in their hand on the turn they need it. And the odds of them having the 1 Raihan in their hand on the turn that they need it with both Parasols, you know what I mean? It's like, yeah. So that's not something that we're worried about at all. So the 2 Lost Vacuum, yo, thank you, King Jester. Appreciate you. So the 2 Lost Vacuum, I was a huge fan of 2 Lost Vacuum because, all right, so Sam is asking, what if you start Yveltal or need to bench early before a research and they boss it early? Well, then you lose. Okay, it's best 2 out of 3. You can afford to have 1 game that doesn't go right. But what I just did is I showed you how you win, right? You can afford to you can't, when you are playing a Pokemon trading card game deck, you cannot make every matchup 100%. It's impossible. That is an impossible task, right? So all you can do is give yourself a good shot at every matchup, which is what we decided that this list did, is it gave you a good shot at every matchup. So I was a big fan of the double Lost Vacuum, and the reason why I was a big fan of the double Lost Vacuum was because not only is this insurance against Path to the Peak, which shuts down your whole deck, it's also great for removing Choice Belts, which can make a big difference in the mirror, and against Regigigas. It's also great for removing Big Parasols, and Big Parasol is one of the biggest techs against Lugia V-Star because of amazing Yveltal, which can one-hit KO anything if it doesn't have a Big Parasol attached. So Lost Vacuum was kind of a a card that was fulfilling multiple desires with the list. It was fulfilling multiple roles all at the same time. A stadium can't remove tool cards, right? So if you're playing stadiums as a way to counter path, those don't have a double effect. They don't also remove tools. And we decided that this deck doesn't actually need any stadiums, so it's better to just play a card that has that dual effect, which is why we landed on 2 Lost Vacuum. JW and Riley were a big fan of 3 Capture Energy and 15 Energy altogether, which I got on board with because I love consistency. I think we would have wanted the 4th Capture Energy, but we decided to replace that with Gift Energy. Now, a lot of lists were playing the one of V-Guard Energy. I think that is a great option. Also, Gift Energy or V-Guard Energy, they're both really good. Gift Energy was sick. And let me tell you about how you beat Mew VMAX. I actually hate saying this because this hurts. But if Mew VMAX is planning on using Roxanne, you just put the Gift Energy on, right? You can go Drapion Gift against Mew VMAX and they can't Roxanne Path you. It's just like, bro, it stinks so bad, you know? Well, they can Roxanne Path you, but they'd have to, like, you know, Roxanne double cross switcher up something else and path you and hope that you can't get out of that. So being able to drop the gift on the Drapion is so insane. Thank you, Railroad, for that Prime sub. The Gift Energy was nuts because you just put the Gift Energy on your second to last attacker. Whether it's a Lugia V-Star or a Radiant Charizard or Yveltal, if you know that your opponent's going to try and Marnie you out of game, or you know that your opponent is going to try and Roxanne you out of the game, you just slap the gift on whichever attacker is going in to that second to last attacker. And having the Gift Energy is just a really nice insurance policy to help fill your hand after a hand disruption card, since this deck doesn't draw a lot of cards, right? Doesn't draw a lot of cards, so having that extra draw with Gift Energy was super solid. We decided on the Hiding Darkness Energy over the Heat Fire Energy because of one card. Big D. That's right. Hiding Darkness Energy, if you happen to start Drapion, easy way to retreat it, turning that Drapion into a free retreater. And since we had 2 Darkness Pokemon instead of 1, I think the Hiding Darkness Energy made a lot of sense. So we definitely liked that. With the list in general, we decided that we wanted to go with a more aggressive and consistent list, not worry about tanking hits and healing and all of that. We decided to not play the V-Guard Energy because we only really aimed to attack with 1 Lugia V-Star, right? So we were like, who cares? Just attack with your 1 Lugia. It gets knocked out. The V-Guard Energy is only really good against Mew VMAX, and even then you've got the Drapion. The V-Guard Energy would have been okay in the mirror. I went 3-2 against mirrors on the weekend. Riley also went 3-2 against mirrors on the weekend. I guess 3-3 after his top 8 loss. So we were even on mirrors, which makes sense. The mirror is really tough. It feels like there isn't a lot of room to outplay your opponent. It feels like your deck either sets up or it doesn't. And then so long as both players are playing really well, it's just a matter of how the cards fall. I definitely did not love the Lugia mirror, and the Lugia mirror was the matchup that I wanted to play the least all weekend, which I think just makes a lot of sense. So yeah, this is the list that we played, and Riley and I did really well with it. JW had some really bad beats, played against some wheezing decks, and kind of got chewed up and spit out during day 1. but I was able to enter day 2 at 5th seed with a record of 8-1. My only loss day 1 was to a mirror match that I played against Connor Finton, and Connor was able to go first and set up beautifully and just gave me the business. So Connor took that win, and I won all of my other games that I played, including the mirror I played against Jose Marrero on stream, and I beat one other Lugia player day 1. The Dunsparce came in really clutch during day 1 because I played against 2 Regigigas decks day 1, and I was able to beat them both thanks to the Dunsparce. Day 2, I started out with a round 1 loss to a Lugia mirror where I didn't get a Lugia V-Star set up until turn 4 in game 3. And I don't know about you guys, but when you are playing a Lugia mirror and you don't set up Lugia until day 4, when you are playing a Lugia mirror and you don't set up Lugia until turn 4, you are going to have a bad time. So I scooped that game and took a round 1 loss day 2. I then ran it back and was able to beat a Mew VMAX deck, another Lugia mirror, and I got paired against Azul, who was playing Lost Box. And that was an awesome match. I love Azul. Azul and I are good friends. We go way back. The last time Azul and I played was the top 4 of the Memphis Regional Championships in 2017. I was 1 turn away from winning and meeting Michael Pramawat in the finals, and I had beat Michael Pramawat twice that event so far in day 1 and in day 2 Swiss. So I was really looking forward to meeting Michael Pramawat in the finals. I needed 1 more turn to beat Azul, but Azul top-decked the game-winning Guzma just in time and was able to punch his ticket to the finals, where he lost to Pramawat, who was able to win his, 6th regional championship. So, yeah, Azul robbed me of my 2nd regional win. It's okay. But I got him back here at Arlington. I was able to 2-0 Azul's Lost Box deck. We had a great set. And Stoutland came in clutch. Did exactly what I needed it to do. Having the Dunsparce was also really good against Azul's Zeraora that he played. He was trying to take advantage of, Lugia's lightning weakness, but with the Dunsparce that a lot of decks weren't anticipating. A lot of players were not anticipating Lugia decks playing the Dunsparce. Playing the Dunsparce made it much more tough for Azul to be able to take those cheeky knockouts on Lugias. So that definitely helped in the series as well. Thank you, Captain Nightfall, for those 18 months. So at this point, I beat Azul, and I was at 33 match points. For those of you that don't know, you get 3 match points for a win, 1 match point for a tie, and 0 match points for a loss. I had a record of 11-2 with 2 rounds left to go. So, in order to make top 8, in order to guarantee top 8, I needed 36 points. 35 points was going to be what is called on the bubble. On the bubble means that some players with 35 match points will make top 8, and some players with 35 match points will not make top 8. So essentially, I had back-to-back win and ins. Now in round 13, right? Is it round 13? Round 14. I played Azul in round 13. In round 14, I got paired against Alex Krekeler, who was playing the crazy Aerodactyl V-Star Vikavolt Raikou V deck. And Alex Krekeler had just beat Tord Reklev, who I had been playing next to all tournaments. I mean, at this point, we're all pretty familiar with what decks each other are playing. Tord and I had been sitting next to each other almost the entire event. We just never actually played against each other. So we had been chatting quite a bit. Tord had just gotten smoked by Alex Krekeler's Vikavolt's Aerodactyl V-Star deck. So, I'm sitting across from Alex Krekeler in my first winning into top 8, and I'm not feeling great about it because he's got a Lugia counter deck. And Alex offers me the ID. And for those of you that don't know, an ID is an intentional draw. Alex is thinking that with this ID, he'll be guaranteed into top 8. And for me, I'm like, you know what? This matchup is pretty close to an auto loss. And Tord just got beat by this deck. And Tord is one of the best players, if not the best player in the world right now. So as Alex is offering me the ID, Tord walks behind me on his way to his match, pats me on the shoulder, and is like, "You should take that." And I'm like, yeah, you know, I think you're right. So I take the ID to a terrible matchup against Alex Krekeler. Alex Krekeler had just beat Tord. And if you followed Tord's regional run at all, he had some real bad beats in the final couple games to whiff top 8 and top 16. He had a bad time. And one of those matches that really broke his top 8 run was his matchup against Alex Krekeler. So I was not trying to repeat what had just happened to Tord because we're both playing Lugia. So I take the ID with Alex Krekeler, which seems like a good idea. It puts me to 34 match points. And the reason why I take the ID with Alex Krekeler is because it now gives me two different routes to be able to make top 8. I can either ID my final round if I decide that my resistance is good enough to get me into top 8. It was. At this point, my resistance is in the high 60s, so I'm feeling very good about that. Or I could play out my last round, win, and then I'm also into top 8. So taking the ID with Alex seemed like the safest play because if I play against Alex and lose, then I have to win my final round. I don't have the option to tie at all, but if I take the tie against Alex, which is an unfavorable matchup, and I know it's an unfavorable matchup because the reason he's up here in the first place is because he's been slaughtering Lugias all weekend. If I take the ID with Alex, then I have two different routes to top 8. I can either ID and get into top 8 on the 35-point bubble with good resistance, which I had, or I can play out my last round and win, putting me to 37 match points, which would also guarantee me top 8. So after the ID, all I have to do is sit around and wait for my final round pairing. There are a bunch of players that I have not played against yet. If I get paired against, there are a bunch of players that I have not played against in day 2 yet. If I get up paired to Connor Finton, he's already at 36 match points. He could ID with me, and I would be into top 8. If I get paired against John Ang, he would ID with me, and we could go peacefully into top 8. If I get down paired, there are a bunch of people at 33 match points, and I would have to play out my final round, since players at 33 match points cannot make top 8 with an intentional draw. They have to play. They're in win and ins. So if I get paired to anybody at 34 or 35 or 36 match points, I can ID in. But if I get paired down to anybody with 33 points, then I have to play. So what happens next is the worst possible outcome of this scenario. I get paired against my best friend, Riley Hulbert, who is at 33 match points and is also in a win and in scenario. This is as bad as it gets. He's my testing partner. We're playing the same 60 card list. We both have a chance to make top 8, but we can't both make top 8. It's just as bad as it gets. There's no winning for both of us. It has to be one or the other. So when we first see the pairings, we're obviously very depressed and not having a good time. But then we realize we have to figure out how to do this. Now, many of you might be thinking, well, why don't you just play? Have a great friend battle. It's going to be awesome. May the better player win. Riley and I are best friends, and we've been doing this for a long time. And let me tell you what. Like I said in the beginning of this, tournaments are about, our playtesting group is about friendship first, right? It's always about friends first. And we play as a team, we finish as a team, we really think about our successes as a group and as a team. Playing Pokemon cards for 2 days straight is an incredibly grueling experience, especially by the time you get to round 15 of a 1,200 player tournament, okay? It was a lot. A lot. The last thing either of us wants to do is play an incredibly stressful 60-card mirror against a best friend before going into top 8. What we'd rather do is give whichever player is going into top 8 an hour to rest, collect themselves, get gassed up, listen to your music, go to the bathroom, eat a granola bar, whatever, right? As friends, we want to give whichever player is going into top 8 the best chance at succeeding as possible, because that's what friends do for each other. So no, we're not going to play at round 15, 2 days into this large event. We're going to figure out what makes the most sense. So we're talking it out at the table, and we realize that if I go deep into top 8, I'm going to have to book a new flight, but Riley's flight isn't until 9 p.m. So he's got a much later flight If I end up having to rebook my flight, that's a net negative for the both of us as friends and as a team. So I decided to give Riley the win because that way neither of us will have to rebook our flights, and I can go with the rest of the full grip group and catch the flight stress-free, not have to worry about it. I'll be guaranteed top 16. I finished 11th place, and I'll give Riley the best chance possible at doing well in top 8. So I scooped to him, and Riley had some really bad beats in top 8 and ended up losing. So that was the end of the run. It's about as tough of an ending as it could have possibly been. Like I said, there was no way for both of us to come out of that situation with, winners of the tournament. It felt like we just stepped on a landmine in the last round. But as players who are putting themselves in that situation, it was bound to happen eventually. And I really do believe that our group's success is earned together. As you may have seen if you checked Twitter, where JW tried to combine all 3 of our records on the weekend. He was trying to get in on some of that group success as well, even though he dropped out of day 1 pretty early. So yes, we play as a team, we win as a team. That really is how it goes with our testing group, and I wouldn't have it any other way. Makes me very happy to be able to get Riley another regional top 8 finish. Of course, I have some feelings of like, dang, really wish I could have got there with a record of 11-2-1. It's absolutely insane that I was not able to ID into top 8. 11-2-1. It's 11-2-1. And you're telling me I couldn't ID into top 8 at 11-2-1? Yeah. It's about as good as it gets, man. But it's all good. 11th place is cool. I had a great run. Honestly, the difference for me between 11th place and 5th place makes no difference. I would have wanted a top 4 finish at least. So I feel for Riley losing in top 8 like he did. He double prized his Lugia V-Stars in game 2 and he bricked game 1. He had a terrible showing in top 8. Just really unfortunate. I was not super looking forward to going into top 8 and running the gauntlet with the Lugia mirrors and Alex Krekeler's deck. And then if you watched the finals, you saw that Connor Finton was able to continue his undefeated streak by 2-0ing Alex Krekeler in the finals. I don't know what happened. Alex's deck just stopped working. I think that Connor played exceptionally well. He had a great list, and, it was obviously his event. He didn't lose a set the entire time. But for me, now, I'm just hungry for the next one. I'm going to be going to the San Diego Regional Championships, and I get to give this format another try there. So I'm very much looking forward to that. And I'm proud of how the team performed with the Lugia deck that we constructed the night before the event. I am now at 250 championship points. I'm halfway to my World's Invitation with this top 16 finish. I'm also 4 for 4 on day 2 appearances with the 4 regional championships that I've been to so far, with a top 64, 2 top 32s. I had a top 60 with a top 64 at Peoria, top 32 at Toronto, top 32 at Salt Lake City, and now a top 16 at Arlington, Texas. 250 championship points so far out of 500. With Riley's top 8 finish, he is now at 240 championship points. So we are both well on our way to our 2023 World Championship invitation, though it does feel like it is going to be a pretty monumental task getting there, because regionals have a best finish limit of 6, and I've already used up 4 of those. So if I top 8 2 regional championships for the rest of the year, that'll put me at like 450, and then I'll still need 50 more points from somewhere, and we don't have any news on what the local championship point structure is going to be like if and when those local events resume in March. So I'm a little bit nervous about that, but here's to hoping for the best. It'll be fine. I'd like to get to at least 400 championship points off of regionals alone, and I think that's a very realistic goal. If I can get 150 more points off of 2 more regionals, that'd be good. So feeling strong about the season so far, and I can't wait for the next regional championship. Cool. So that's it. That's the deck. That's what we played. That's a rundown of the tournament performance for all of you that are interested. I'm not lying to you when I tell you that I don't know what I'm playing at a regional championship a week out. I'm not lying to you when I say that I don't know what I'm playing 3 days out. I just walked you through the whole process. Thank you, X Factor, for that tier 1 sub in the 21 months. Appreciate you, X Factor. Thank you. And thank you guys for listening. Thank you, Jay Stu, for that tier 1 sub as well. Appreciate it. Boyish Good Looks, Captain Nightfall. Thank you guys very much. It was fun to see that live. I expected. I don't like doing YouTube exclusives because I think too much, right? So I think like I pretty much am just done doing. I think I'm pretty much done doing YouTube exclusives like ever, because I just overthink things. And then I do retakes. I hate doing retakes. I'll do a gazillion retakes, and then things sound too scripted. Like, you know. I'll cut that up. I'll cut that video up, and I'll like overlay stuff. You know, I'll overlay pictures and like chops from the VOD and things like that. I know. Got to remember what Terry said. Yeah, no retakes. I know. That's the dream. Yo, thanks, Shin. I appreciate that. So now we gotta figure out like what's next, though, right? What's next? Lugia is like this tier 0 invincible deck that dominated a direct counter deck in the finals. Like, we all watched it, bro. It beat a direct counter deck in the finals. Isn't that crazy? Ain't that something? Yeah, Connor has some serious plot armor, man. He did. Huge shout out to my sponsors. Full Grip Games and Dragon Shield. It's wonderful being able to pick up all the cards I needed from Full Grip because I forgot them all. Haha, I forgot them all. I forgot my Lugia deck at home, and I was able to get that squared away easily. Oh, look at that! Who's that handsome man right there? Who's that handsome man right there? Wow. Look at that. Wonderful. Gang's all here. Let's take a look at... So he had 3 research, 2 Serena, 2 boss, 1 bird keeper. So he came to the same conclusion with the bird keeper as we did, except instead of cutting the 2nd Serena, he cut the 4th research. That was like also something that we were thinking about, right? He played the 1 Lost Vacuum, 1 Collapsed, which is, we just played the 2 Lost Vacuum instead. He played the 1 V-Guard instead of the 1 Gift, and he played the Heat Fire instead of the Hiding Dark. He played Amazing Shot Raikou, which is cool. And he did not play... He played the 3-3 Lugia line. Yeah, the 3-3 Lugia line, the 2 Luminion V, and no Dunsparce. Right. So, there you go. Cool stuff. And no Drapion either. We did play again. I played against multiple Mew decks, and I would have lost those matchups had I not played Drapion, just straight up. Yup. It was not yeah. We all were in situations where Drapion won us our sets against Mew. Thank you, Psalms Pwetty, for that Prime sub. Appreciate you. All right. Hang tight. Oh, and he's got a 16th energy instead of... Okay, 4 capture, 16th energy. That's good. That is good for sure. All right, hang tight. I'll be right back. After this quick break, when I get back, we're going to play some Pokemon trading card game online, all right? Hang tight. Thanks for being here. Yo, we back. Thanks for the patience. Let's get into some gaming. It's freezing in my studio. Why have I been doing this for 5 years and I've never had HVAC in my studio, dude? What's up with that? Why have I never had HVAC in my studios? How do I keep getting myself into this situation? It's something that we're working on it with building renovations right now. But oh no, man, I'm gonna need some HVAC. It's freezing. It's cold. It's too cold to function up here for sure. In fact, I'm clearing off these cards so that I can put the space heater right next to my face. Lugia V-Star isn't my favorite deck. Yeah, Lugia V-Star and Mew are my favorite like tournament decks right now. Yeah, cause they're the best. Let's see. You think I can just? Oh my God. That's it right there. See. Feels so good, man. Yeah, we can just put that baby right there. Very good. Am I going to San Diego? Well, yes. Yes, I am going to San Diego. San Diego. Yeah, I'll be there. It'll probably be nice in San Diego, right? That'll be sick. Might be going to Portland Regionals, depends on how the whole invite thing is going at that point. Oh, what do you guys want to play? What do you guys want to do? World's our oyster. Major congrats to Connor for taking the win. Arlington this past weekend. Just saw on Twitter, he said he told his buddy he was going to win the whole event, round 2. I mean, and you know what? That man had some serious plot armor. He played really well. He's a great player, had a great deck, but like, yeah, man, it was magical. It was magical watching that. Undefeated regional run, 1,200 player, absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. You know how hard it is? You know how hard it is to go undefeated at a 1,200 player tournament? Yeah, that's crazy. I worry that it's never what you want to see with the matchups on. This list is crazy, bro. 2 battle VIP pass. Man. This is a crazy deck, brother. Holy smokes. What's the missing card? 11 energy, 34 trainers, 15 Pokemon. A Ditto V? Ditto V. Let's see. Cool. This is the Krekeler. The Krekeler special. I worry that this is a meta call for a regional championship. This is not going to be, man, people don't like just playing Lugia on the ladder, You're not going to get them good games that you're looking for. But I'll play the Krekeler special. Of course I want to swap out those reverses, but I'm feeling lazy, so I don't want to do it. Yeah, most of the Lugia decks rotating in April, sure, but I got a lot of events. A lot of events to play between now and then. A lot. Playing against Arceus. Okay. That's like a third of the year. Dude, people have been talking about rotation since December of last year. See what I mean? Like, this is a counter meta deck, and I'm playing against Arceus Vikavolt. It's like, like tournament play is so much different than ladder play. It's so much different. It's so much different, man. Oh, man, bro. This just seems like an auto loss at this point. I don't think that there's any route. This thing's got free retreat. Yeah, it's disastrous for sure. That's fine. I guess we want to set up okay. There's our 2 battle VIP pass coming in clutch. I guess we want to set up Duder McDuder over here. See if we can't start one-hit KOing, fellas. I think we should get energy search. Energy search for water. Scoop up net. Get another energy search. Is that correct? Yeah, that's fine. Go here. Retreat into this guy. Melanie to Aerodactyl. That's cool. Trekking shoes. Keep that. Mysterious tail. Okay. Grab that. And I'll pass. Not going for turn 1 item lock. I'm going for turn 2 Aerodactyl V-Star. And hopefully I could just one-hit KO everything. But if they go like Choice Belt, knock out my Aerodactyl, I will just scoop. Yo, how we all feeling about the Pokemon Trading Card Game Live today? We excited? We feeling positive? How we doing, guys? We feeling excited about... Come on. We feeling excited? Feeling good? I think I just scooped this. I don't think I can win. Yep, no. This matchup is definitely an auto loss. Oh no, I got nothing to say. If you don't have anything nice to say, don't say it at all. Okay, I will say this briefly. As I was walking around the Arlington, Texas regional championship, I overheard two separate groups of people that I did not know and had never met before talking about, distinct from each other, on opposite ends of the convention hall, talking about how much of a mess Live was and how it was a terribly executed project. Just like randomly. Like, I just stumbled upon that just in the wild. Like, those are just conversations I overheard. You know, at this point, I don't have to say or do anything because it's self-evident. Like, if you try playing that thing, you know it's unplayable. So, all right, here we go. Battle VIP pass. Okay. Playing against a Alolan Vulpix, huh? That is interesting. You want to go for like turn 1 item lock? Probably aren't getting turn 1 item lock off of this. We'll get Greninja for sure. And then we can sealed cards away that. Okay. Trekking shoes. Gnar. Yo, let's go, dude. Let's go, dude. Alright, so now we go Vikavolt. Speed Lightning Energy. Broken Deck. Heavy Ball. Crobat. Okay. So now I just need to find a Melanie. Okay, we're going to cross switcher. I think I'm going... because we need to find a Melanie. I think I'm going here. And then... just do this. Do that. There we go. Concealed cards. Cool. Melanie. Now we're cooking. Let's go. Paralyzing Bolt. Let's do it. So they are item locked. Turn 1 item lock with Vikavolt V. They've got Alolan Vulpix V-Star. It has the Silvery Snowstar attack, which does 70 damage times the amount of Pokemon V I have in play. That's 280. But it's fine. We're chilling right now. And then Snow Mirage, not affected by Pokemon that have an ability. That's cool. Alright. And Training Court. Could draw another couple cards with Mr. Greninja. You're not really getting anywhere there. That's fine. Paralyzing bolts. Yeah, soup. There you go, soup. Yep. There you go. I know. Crazy, right? Lost City is out. That's fine. I don't really have like a backup plan to deal with the Vulpix though when it Silvery Snowstars me. At this point, we're really just not doing a lot. Like, I'm gonna take one prize. It's kind of cool. But, what am I gonna do about this Silvery Snowstar? You think Alex didn't prep for the Silvery Snowstar? I think this Vikavolt going to the... I should have vacuumed this Lost City. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Well, it's fine. Okay. Let's quick ball. Go get our other Vikavolt. Oh, is Raikou just better? Nah, Raikou not doing a lot of... no. Well... Raikou has an ability. Oh, yeah. Nah, you want it to be Vikavolt. That's fine. Trekking shoes. Yeah, we'll keep that. It gives me an extra card with Radiant Greninja. Get rid of that. Feller over there. Concealed cards. There's Air Balloon. Very nice. What do we want? Escape. Kind of feeling Escape. Let's go Escape. Escape. Yeah, thank you, Control Chaos. Appreciate you. And I'm thinking Paralyzing Bolt. That's what I'm thinking. We're gonna item lot. How about that? But this... Yeah, you can't play like... you can't play regional counter decks on the ladder. You're just not gonna... You're not gonna have a fruitful time, Oh, you think I'm just gonna play against some meta decks on the ladder? Gonna be playing against like Lugia? No. Alright. Let's see. 140 hit points left. Okay. I mean... it's Melanie here. Attach Speed Lightning. And... a Paralyzing Bolt. Oh, wait. He doesn't have an ability. That's good. Alright. I'm just going to attack with Aerodactyl. I'm just going to go knockout game. That's what we got. Because this thing's only got 240 hit points, so that's nice. This deck play like a... plays one Marnie. Alright, we're going to look for that. Because if I can Marnie... maybe I can decrease his hand size. Take some knockouts. Feel pretty good about that. All right, here's the Vulpix V-Star. Thank you, Shiny King, for that tier 1 sub in the 23 months. Yeah, this is fine. the Aerodactyl will provide. Definitely. We'll go Snow Mirage. No damage from Pokemon that have abilities. That's fine. They go to 2 prizes left. This is not great. Okay, it's not like exactly where you want to be. But that's okay. It's Energy Search. We want that fighting energy. There's no Marnie in the deck, which is awesome. So they get to keep their gigantic hand, which is sick. And quick ball away this. Go get Raikou. And we're going to Ultra Ball away Raikou. Yeah, I got no supporters that can help me out right now. That's sweet. All right, we'll get Zigzagoon. I'm going to V-transform into Raikou. Just give him a little boost in hit points, you know. And then, yeah, well, Mysterious Tail. That's cool. And, whoop. Give me old Lost Dive. I do have to send 3 cards to Lost Zone. That's fine. Right? Probably. They bring up this guy. They hit me for 160. They have too many cards in their hand that they can play, which is not good for us. They're also not benching a lot of Pokemon, not really playing into the Raikou V thing. You know, this this matchup is crazy, bro. I think you should be able to beat this deck going first, though, as Lugia. Especially if you play Dunsparce. I don't really see how they win. Oh, well, this is sad. Okay, so they're doing 140. Leafy Camo Poncho. Who is that for? Okay, 140. They're not knocking out Crobats. They need a... No, Choice Belt won't even do it. So... And they've already attached here, so they'd have to, like, Raihan to this benched one, I guess. This seems like they're just delaying the inevitable at this point. Don't you see where this is going? Alright, Snow Mirage. I mean, I guess they could just have another Gust. No, actually, because they can't even attack, bro. So, just gonna retreat. And then they Lost Dive, and you're done. Yeah, that dude doesn't have nearly enough hit points. Like, not even close, dude. You got it? They can win with white dry. I didn't read. No. Dang it, bro. This stinks, man. What the heck? Dang it, brother. This deck stinks. I just want to play against Lugia. All right. How about this? How about this? I got an idea. Anybody got Connor Fitton's deck? Let's replay the finals, bro. On PTCGO, don't talk to me about the other thing. Like Vikavolt mirrors, I think I'm cool on Vikavolt mirrors, right? Anyone want to play a best of 3, replay the finals? That actually seems like way more fun. Yarn Punk, do I know what I'm going to do about content when PTCG goes down? I have no idea, actually. It's something that stresses me out every day. All right. Trevor can, but would need to boot up PTCGO? Okay. Escape. Heavy ball. Vacuum. Three quick balls. Scoop up net. Trekking shoes. Ultra ball. It's cool, boss. Melanie, Marnie. Thank you, Breezinger64 for that Prime sub. There we are. Cool, 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 cool. Energy's good. Trainer's good. Pokemon. Are there going to be new reverse hollows? Is that a thing? I guess so. Every block, they kind of reinvent the reverse hollows, don't they? I hope they cancel these. Frankly. Just give us alt arts and regular arts. And maybe golds. Nah, dude. The full arts, over it. Over full arts. Yeah, over them. Like this one. Ah, he's kind of silly looking. I think the non-full arts just look better. Like this Drapion just looks better, dude. Look at him. Look at his pose, dude. Yeah, I think we're all down with nixing the rainbows. For sure. Sorry. Okay. And ditto. Yo, anybody trade Trevor a second Luminion V? We need a second Luminion V for our boy Trevor. All right. Let's see what we got out here. All my cards are locked. Yep, 4 locked Luminion V. Let's see. Packs. All locked packs. I have 1 pack of Astral Radiance unlocked. That's sick. Let's see if I get anything crazy out of this one. I don't know how I got this 1 pack. Dang it. That one's locked too. Oh, it's going to open all my locked ones. It's going to open all the locked ones first. All right, I have to open all of my locked ones. And then I can see if I can start an unlocked collection. You got one? Sick. All right. I was going to say, I'll open all 35 packs of this Astral Radiance just to get to the 1 tradable pack of Astral Radiance and see if I can open like an alt art or a gold card out of it or something, and then play the trade up game. That'd be sick. No. Kanunu, I would say in like casual play with your friends, like go ahead, but you just when you make exceptions like that on a large scale, it just gets unnecessarily confusing. So definitely not at tournaments or anything like that, or not at regional side events. Not officially, but with your friends, knock yourself out. Because you can't, the more exceptions you make to the rules, the more confusing it gets, you know? And you're just better off keeping the rules straightforward and simple. Ooh. I turned 1 Astral Radiance pack into 4 altar. That's what I'm saying. Oh, it is also different. You're right. It's up to. Admin is up to. Yeah, and N is not up to. So the cards are not the same, actually. Yeah. All right, y'all ready, Trevor? We're going to replay the finals of the Texas Regional Championships. What do you guys think? I'll let you guys predict. Dang. Feeling rough. Okay, cool. All right, big thank you to Trevor for indulging us with some relevant and fun gameplay. Okay, cool. Yes, this will be quite fun. Replaying the finals of the Arlington, Texas Regional Championships. Alex Krekeler was able to make his way all the way to the finals of the Arlington Regional Championships with his Rogue Vikavolt Aerodactyl V-Star Raikou V deck. And Connor Fenton went undefeated winning the events with his Lugia V-Star deck. I think a lot of players, myself included, anticipated dang, bro. A lot of players, myself included, anticipated that Alex Krekeler was going to win this regional championships with his rogue Lugia counter deck. Really, that's what this deck is built to do. It is just built to beat Lugia decks. So to see a Lugia deck take down Alex Krekeler's rogue in the finals was a wild thing to experience. We've got ourselves a pretty good opening hand with Quick Ball and Speed Lightning Energy going up against Lugia V-Star playing second. I think we really want to go for the turn 1 item lock. If we can get turn 1 item lock into turn 2 Aerodactyl V-Star Ancient Star, that's going to be our best shot at winning. But we are asking a lot of the deck to pull that off, especially without a Vikavolt active or anything like that. And that was an issue that I had generally with Vikavolt decks, just in this metagame in general, is that they pretty much rely on getting the turn 1 item lock and hoping that the opponent doesn't have a great go. You know, you're kind of just dependent on that, hoping that your opponent doesn't have everything that they need, right? I like can't even Marnie. If I Marnie, that means I'm not getting the turn 1 item lock, and I'm pretty much just not getting the turn 1 item lock guaranteed at this point. So it's a tough situation to be in. I think I'm going to Quick Ball away the Cross Switcher and go grab a Vikavolt. And we'll attach the Speed Lightning Energy to Vikavolt and see what happens. Trekking Shoes. We get the Forest Seal Stone. But I don't have enough cards in my hand to be able to... Yeah, I just don't have the cards in my hand to be able to Forest Seal Stone into a turn 1 item lock. I just don't. It doesn't matter. Because I don't have a water in the discard pile. I'm not even close. So we got to say no. And we find Ultra Ball. So I think I can bench Aerodactyl V. And they just got Lugia out with an Ultra Ball. They didn't Ultra Ball away an Archeops or anything like that. So we know that they don't have Archeops in the hand. Which makes me want to not play this Marnie. But my hand is so bad that I think we're okay to just let it rip anyways. So let's Ultra Ball away Training Court and Drapion. Because at a certain point, we have to go. I mean, I guess I could have Crobatted. But I think at this point, with them having no Archeops in the discard pile, I think I'm okay with that Marnie. And we just say, all right, go ahead. And we have to hope that they don't get a Lugia V-Star out this next turn. It's not just a matter of evolving into Lugia V-Star. They also have to get Archeops into the discard pile. I can still win if they, get Lugia but don't get the Summoning Star. So I decided that the Marnie was going to be a better play rather than overextending, since they didn't have an Archeops in the discard pile yet. We're kind of just hoping that maybe they can't get that. But looks like they're going to be able to Luminous Sign for research, probably discard at least one Archeops. And if they find a Lugia, they will be able to Summoning Star for at least the one Archeops. They might have two Archeops in the hand. There's a powerful colorless and a research, and it is double Archeops discard. All they need is Lugia V-Star, and there it is. So now they have the Summoning Star, which is not good for us. This is a pretty terrible situation to be in, because they can just get, they can just get the Archeops into play, and now that the Archeops are in play, they are just going to be able to accelerate energy wherever they want. Doesn't seem very good. I mean, it just seems like, at this point you're just kind of in an auto loss situation. If they just get Lugia out, you lose, because they can just put the energy wherever they need it to go, which is bad. Yeah, it's bad. Yeah, we just lose this for sure. All right, well played. I don't think that there's anything we can do. We might be able to, all right, if we say we like Raikou V, right? Collapse Stadium, remove the Luminion. Yeah, this is brutal. I could maybe Raikou V, double cross switcher, knock out the Lugia. It's all messy. None of it's good. And we have to Melanie every turn. Just not great. Okay, we'll energy search for the water. Quick ball away the water. Go get this fella. We'll Melanie to the Raikou. And then Trekking Shoes. And then Mysterious Tail. Grab Scoop Up Nets. Scoop Up Nets. Mysterious Tail. Oh boy. Grab Air Balloon. Scoop Up Nets. Mysterious Tail. Find one cross switcher. Not really enough to do what we need to do. Right now, Raikou's doing 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, which is just enough to take the knockout, so that's probably okay. But you can see how this is just going to unwind very quickly in Lugia's favor, because I've got nothing good going for me. We just have unfavorable trades. We can Lightning Rondo, knock out the Stoutland. But our routes to victory is pretty much evaporated. We need to stop the Summoning Star. And the thing is that the Summoning Star is just, it's not hard to get. It really is. It's not asking a lot. And Lugia decks are built to just get the Summoning Star turn 2 every single game. And then if you go second, you give your opponent so much time. And since you can't turn 1 item lock and Marnie at the same time, you're giving your opponent all this time to just set up their hand, and they know that they aren't going to be item locked and Marnied in the same turn if they go first. So a Lugia player can just set up 2 Archeops in the discard pile turn 1 going first, and then put a Lugia in their hand, and then if you can't item lock and disrupt the hand, so they can just then evolve, and it's just game over. So as you can see, this is bad. This is real bad. Yeah. This is not good. Let's Trekking Shoes. take the Speed Lightning Energy. Mysterious Tail. Quick Ball. Quick Ball away. Battle VIP Pass. Go get Greninja. Greninja. Thank you, Little Munchkin, for the sub and the 48 months. Yeah, this is just all bad, bro. It's all bad, bro. It's all bad. Like, I have to take 4 prizes. It's impossible, man. Because this Radiant Charizard is here. It can just retreat. It's all bad. We just lose. Man, we just cannot win. Yep. It's like, I could go here. I could have knocked something out, but then it's like, if I knock something out, then the Charizard just comes up and does 250 to this again. So it's at least I forced them to take a knockout with Lugia or Yveltal, but it's still just a losing situation. No matter what play I make. It just seems like we're out of it. This was the deck I was afraid to play. Yes, because he just beat Tord. And this player was like, you know, Alex was like at the top tables with this Lugia. We didn't know anything about the deck. It was just, all we knew was that it was a Lugia counter deck that just beat Tord. And we were like, okay, I'll probably take the tie against that. You know, and then he beat Lugias in top 8 and top 4. His Lugia matchup was apparently pretty good. But now that I know, like, now that I'm like more aware of what the deck is, I probably would have just played. I don't know. Okay. Yeah, this isn't great. I think at this point, safe to concede that. And we'll just go first, game 2. No, there is not, Yarn Punk. There's an exclusive, everybody goes to bed because they're tired. Yeah, more like, yeah, everybody rushed to the airports and try to catch their flights. Yes, I would like to go first. You're right. That's just what everybody wants you to think. True. All right. Well, we should win this. See, this is how it's supposed to go. This is how it's supposed to be right here. All right. Going first. We got the turn 1 battle VIP pass, and I will gladly go get Aerodactyl and Radiant Greninja. That seems pretty good. So let's get those fellas, and then we can Mysterious Tail. I've got another battle VIP pass, which is nuts. So we'll take that. Battle VIP pass again, and we will get this guy and this guy. Seems pretty good. Then I can Speed Lightning Energy to Vikavolt just to draw another couple cards. Concealed cards, the Water Energy. Like that. And I'm just going to hold this hand. And we've pretty much got exactly what we want. We've got the turn 2 Ancient Star ready to go. If we can get the turn 2 Ancient Star going first, we can make it so that Lugia V cannot use its Summoning Star ability to get those Aerodactyls into play. So this deck has a much better time winning if it goes first than if it does going second. Going second, you pretty much have to get the turn 1 item lock and hope that Lugia does not have a response. That's it. You're just getting the turn 1 item lock and you hope that they don't have it. Because if they do Summoning Star through an item lock, you still lose. 100%. And Lugia plays like a bunch of capture energies and stuff like that. They can get their Pokemon out without using items. It's not a problem. And no matter what, you're always going to give your opponent one turn of being able to play their items. Like here, Trevor's already got 2 Archeops in the discard pile. He's totally fine. So now, if I'm able to get the turn 2 Ancient Star, Trevor won't be able to use Summoning Star. And as you can see, he's already got the Lugia in hand. It's prepped, ready to go. Okay, we'll get Energy Search. Energy Search for the water. Concealed cards again. We've got Melanie now. So Melanie to Vikavolt. And then Escape Rope. And we'll promote Aerodactyl. Evolve into Aerodactyl V-Star. Attach that Fighting Energy. And Ancient Star. So as long as Aerodactyl V-Star remains in play, my opponent's Pokemon V have no abilities. So that means that Lugia V-Star cannot use Summoning Star unless Trevor is able to knock out Aerodactyl V-Star. This is how this deck is supposed to win. Now, in my experience playing at Arlington, I did not play against Alex Krekeler's deck because we ID'd the round we played. But I did play against one Aerodactyl Arceus V-Star deck that featured Espeon VMAX. And Riley lost to that deck because he went second in the coin flip, and that player was able to go turn 2 Ancient Star in both the games that they went first. And I was able to beat that deck because I won the coin flip, and I was able to get the turn 2 Summoning Star before they were able to Ancient Star, and I won. So, as we can see, what Trevor's trying to do now is just build up a Lugia manually, and then that Lugia needs to gust up the Aerodactyl so it can Summoning Star. That's Trevor's best shot at winning the game. Now, Aerodactyl's got 260 hit points. This guy, if it has a double turbo attached, will be doing base 200 plus 30 is 230. So I don't need to necessarily worry about that. I think I'm good to just start making moves on that Lugia. So what we're going to do is we're going to Speed Lightning Energy here first. I can Ultra Ball away these guys. That's fine. Grab Crobats. Concealed cards. That's cool, that's cool. We got Speed Lightning Energy. Trekking Shoes. Keep that. I'm going to Melanie to the active. And retreat into Vikavolt. And this turn, I am just going to Paralyzing Bolt. And we're doing that to lock the Lugia here, hopefully. And then next turn, we want to chase the Lugia with the energy. That's the idea. So next turn, we'll probably Super Zap Cannon this thing. Just to make sure that they don't gust up and knock out my Aerodactyl. We could also Melanie to a Raikou and just start one-hit KOing things, which would be pretty good. So probably do a little bit of that as well. But as long as this Aerodactyl is here, all I have to do is just chase the Lugias, and I should be okay. Now, Luminion does not work because of Aerodactyl's Ancient Star. So, none of that. And pass. And now you can see, you know, not a very interactive game. It is boss up this Lugia that he's been working on. And we can simply fire away. Super Zap Cannon. Take the knockout on that thing. Discard these. Leave myself with 2 energy. Take the KO. And it's pretty easy to pick apart the Lugia deck from this point. Since they have no way of knocking out the Aerodactyl. They can't turn off the Aerodactyl. Because even if the Lugia list played Path to the Peak, then they would not be able to Summoning Star themselves. So now we are looking for Gust. So let's see what we can do. We've got Training Court and Energy back. 15 cards left in deck. Let's draw again. We found Tasui and Heavy Ball. Oh, there's Luminion. I think that's... yeah, we only play 1 boss's orders. So it would be better to find Double Cross Switcher. But I'm not like having a terrific time finding Double Cross Switcher right now. I can still just do this. Trekking Shoes. We'll keep that. Speed Lightning Energy. Dude, the Double Cross Switcher's got to be right here. Holy smokes. Oh my gosh, you've got to be kidding me. That's fine. All right. Scoop up Netterfella. And then Thin. And then Concealed Cards. It's fine. Here they are. And we Double Cross Switcher up this guy. Go into Mew. Retreat. And I think we just Paralyzing Bolt one more time. That's fine. They can't really do anything. So it doesn't really matter. Just item lock them. Like, they can't attack, they can retreat. Just kind of delaying the inevitable. Pumpkaboo, they can try to run me out of resources. But so long as I save that double cross switcher, I should be okay. So we're going to Paralyzing Bolt here for 100. And then next turn, try to take like a multiple knockout angle by scooping up a Mew, laying down Zigzagoon. They promote somebody, we knock that out. Do that at the same thing. So yeah, let's just do that. Scoop up net Mew. Zigzagoon that. See who they promote. Take our Luminion. Now, this double cross switcher is the last like switching out in my deck, so need to be kind of careful with that. We'll just attach there, and I can thin my deck. I can't quick ball. That's hilarious. Okay, let's just Marnie. Yeah. Yeah, baby. That's cool. 8 cards left in deck. Chillin'. And now we can just go for a win. All right, Super Zap Cannon. And we discard those. Thank you, 9 Sketch 9 for the tier 1 sub and the 23 months. Take that. And then we can knock out Luminion or Lugia for game. Just got to find our other cross switcher. And we're golden. If we don't find our other cross switcher, then we'll find it. Why would we not? So they're going to try and boss stall, which makes sense. They want to bring up the Aerodactyl, and they want to stick this thing here, which is okay, because I've got all the time in the world. Plenty of time. Time's on my side. With both Raikou V and Vikavolt V ready to go. That Lugia's only got 80 hit points left. I got this Aerodactyl here. But they've still got much more work to do. Because that Aerodactyl's only 2 prizes. Here's the Bird Keeper. Into Luminion. Quick Ball. And there's Radiant Charizard. A Radiant Charizard can attack. Okay. This is true. I mean, I'm at the point. I just need to find my other cross switcher. And it's in there. Oh, yeah, it is. But I am so low on resources that if Trevor has Aurora Energy Gust, I think I just lose. Yeah, I think I'm literally losing. Oh, he doesn't have the Gust. Thank goodness. Thank goodness, bro. He does! No! He does have it! I think I prized my last Melanie. I would win if I didn't prize my last Melanie. And here it is! No! All right. I did. There were different mistakes were made there. All right, mistakes were made. That was my first time ever playing the deck. Yeah, it was my first time ever trying to play that deck. I prized the Melanie. And if I have Melanie, I just win there. I think I should have just gone for the aggressive knockout game. Yeah. I should have gone for the aggressive instead of trying to... Yeah. I needed to just knock out that Lugia the turn that I was supposed to knock out the Lugia. Instead of item locking it. Yeah. Lugia's just broken. Now I like wish I would have played that matchup out. Honestly. Instead of taking the ID. Because Vikavolt, they're just like kind of mid. Vikavolt decks just aren't that good. I don't think they're very good. I think they're fine. I think they rely too much on like getting off these crazy combos. Whereas like Lugia decks are the decks that are asking the questions, you know, and making your deck provide the answers. But yeah. Yeah. It is a tough call in the moment, and after watching Tord lose to it, it was like, okay, I think it's the right play to just take the tie. I mean, yeah, right. I did the best with the information that I had. Had I, like... Yeah, Alex is definitely a very good player and has played more than 2 games with the deck. Those were my first 2 games ever with the deck. So I'm like, I'm learning a little bit. But Alex also did lose to Connor in the finals. 2-0. Right. So, you know, there's that as well. Like, Alex did lose. We all thought that this deck on paper would just beat Lugia. But when you actually get into it, you can see how many things can go wrong. There are just so many things can go wrong. So many things. Yeah, there are so many things that can go wrong. Where Lugia, there are so few things that can go wrong. You don't even need to draw any cards. Riley and I were joking throughout the tournament that you don't even need to draw cards to win with Lugia. You could play like 1 draw supporter a game. You play like 1 draw supporter a game and you're like, yeah, I'm cool. That's all I need. Yeah, but Lugia, you can play the deck however you want. I mean, it really is like, it's like an open kind of, it's really open-ended deck. Very open-ended. So its open-endedness is part of what makes it so hard to combat, because when you say, I want to beat Lugia, Lugia is only a small part of the deck. The deck is like this deck that you can literally launch any attack you want. You can launch any attack in the game with a Lugia deck. I don't like Aerodactyl as a Lugia counter because it only works if you're going first, and even then, it doesn't really work that much. Yo, all right, what if we played... Okay. Here's the spice. Here's the spice, guys. Here's the spice. All right, it's a Flaffy deck. Yeah. It's a Flaffy deck, right? But then you've got Flying Pikachu for those Reggies. And we could just slam We could just put an Aerodactyl in here too. How about that? Just slap an Aerodactyl in here. You know, then we're having a good old time. Yeah, Aerodactyl, Dynamotor. Huh. So now it's like we got San Diego coming up, right? And with San Diego coming up, it's like, all right, there's a tier 0 best deck in format that is just so good. It dominates everything that comes across its path. What do you do about that? The Aerodactyl doesn't counter. I do not think the Aerodactyl counters Lugia. Well, I just played Lugia. You just play it again, run it back. That's the thing is, it's going to be... Lugia was the right play for Arlington because it was slightly less respected than it should have been. Just slightly. It was so slightly less respected than it needed to be. And you could tell that by the results from Toronto. I absolutely hate strategies like the Aerodactyl strategy where like I'll go first and I win. And it's like, no, dude, I'm trying to play every game, not just the games where I win the coin flip, you know, especially against a third of the field. What, I had a slightly better Machamp King. I had a slightly better record than Riley going in. So does that mean that I would have a better chance in top 8? No, not necessarily. Yeah. If you look at it, like Riley and I's records were incredibly similar, except we went even in the mirror, and he lost to the Archeops deck that he went, or he lost to the Aerodactyl deck that he went second against, and I beat that player with the Aerodactyl deck because I went first. That was the only difference in our records. All right, broken deck. So let's go. Do I still have... I think I still have 3 Lugia V-Star. And I don't have... Yeah. Oof. I still have 3 Lugia V-Star in here, but I don't have a Rangaroo. I need to switch that instantly. That's fine, though. My guru. So sad. Okay. We'll get out the dunny. Gift energy was cool. I liked gift energy. Already attached energy? Why did I do that? What the heck? You see how easy it is to just set... That's the thing about the whole... Like, if you go first, too, you can just set up under item lock and just be like, yeah, I'm cool. Let's just read the wind. Coolio. The Lugia trading card game. So then what? How long have the Eevee evolutions been in my studio? Since last week. They're new. We've got a lot of new friends. Like Embor, Pignite, Bidoof, the Evolution Trio. With the amazing Raikou, you just increase the amount of odds you have to be able to win, like the Lost Box matchup and your Mirror matchup. You got a lot going for you. A lot of cool things you can do. Yeah, I see what you're trying to do there, but yeah, no. How about Gnar? Okay, we're gonna Ultra Ball away this and this. And then we go get Lugia V-Star and check our powerful colorless count. There's only 2. Sheesh. It's fine. This thing's got to retreat to 3, brother. Okay. It's fine. So we do Summoning Star. Get these guys. And then you go Primal Turbo. These. Here. And then you go bada boom, bada bing. And you go Primal Turbo. These. Here. And then you go right over. Let's see. Serena for 3. Serena. Discard Capture. Cool. Attach this here. Discard the Serena. Retreat. Amazing shots. And yeah, knock out the Sableye. It's fine. Take our 2 prizes. And then we put ourselves in a situation where we Stoutland for 2 more prizes. And then we win. That's it. That's it. Does Lugia have a chance after rotation? Sure. Maybe. Depends on what kind of special energy get printed. You feel me? But you can't really predict. You can't say, I know exactly what kind of special energy you're going to get printed, because Lugia is as good as the special energy that exists in the format. Yeah, maybe we get Rainbow Energy back. Maybe. How many times can we talk about rotation? Infinite. Scoop. See? That's why you don't play any deck other than Lugia. You just don't. It's not worth it. Lugia is the best deck. It's not close. Not even a little close. Should have bought Lugia. Just like Jesse said, should have bought Lugias. Always play Lugia, chat. When in doubt, Lugia it out. So now I need to figure out, now that we're in, we're back here in Lugia BDIF territory, right? So what we had was, right, Millennial gets it. What we had was Lugia was the dominant best deck at LAIC. And then you had the Lugia counter decks showed up for Toronto. And then you had the return of Lugia for Arlington. Thank you, Muff Brindo. This is our play, ladies and gentlemen. This is our play. This is our out right here. Oh yeah. This is what we're supposed to do. Okay, let's go get Big Lug. And, yeah. This could be annoying powering this thing up, but. Time for Mew VMAX to return. I beat 100% of the Mews I played against at Arlington. Thank you, Besh, for the 100 bits. At this point, you can't say confidently that Lugia is not playing Drapion, because they just might. Our group was undefeated against Mew, which is hilarious, because in Toronto... Oh, this is going to be spicy, isn't it? In Toronto, our group was undefeated against Lugia playing Mew. And at Arlington, our group was undefeated against Mew playing Lugia. I can't speak for JW. When I say our group, I mean me and Riley. JW, he was an outlier of the situation. JW not included. It's not great, but we can still do it. I don't think it's... No, it's not worth it. We wait until next turn. Hold your ground! I gotta get one more Archeops in the discard pile for sure. Yeah, but I'm just gonna like destroy you with Raikou. And I had the gift? Oh yeah, that gift just went hard. that was sick. So I'll send up this guy. All right, and now we're actually gonna use Serena, weirdly. We're going to pump Kaboo. Yeah. And then we're going to Ultra Ball away these. Go get an Archeops. A prized Stoutland. It's fine. We'll find our Stoutland. Want to attach capture here. And I'll get one more Lugia out. And then Serena. Discard that. Just that. Yep. Okay. And then give him the old summoning star. Primal Turbo. Just needed to not draw into 2 Aurora energy off that Serena, which is one of the reasons I decided to keep that Luminion. And then we Amazing Shot. And we'll knock out both these guys. Take our 2 prizes. And now we are what some players call big chilling. It is at this point where we know we are big chilling. Yes. Dr. Mister says I should make a rogue deck that doesn't summon Archeops, but something else. But Archeops is the most is the most broken card to But Archeops is so broken. So broken. There we go. All right, what did we learn after that? We learned just play Lugia. Yeah, that's right. It's the best deck. Duraludon, that matchup is free. Some of the Lugia decks were even playing Path. John Eng's list had Path and Regigigas in it. Okay. Fun fact, in my first 3 games of the regional championships, I didn't get a turn 1 Lugia V in play. But fortunately, my opponent was drawing much worse than me during the first series, and I still ended up winning. And then in the second series, I scooped game 1 after not opening a Lugia V again, and then proceeded to win games 2 and 3, and then my deck started cooperating from there on out until I played Jose on stream. And then when I played Jose on stream, I did open that Luminion hand with like, I don't know, 6 energy in it or something. But then Jose proceeded to open the same hand right back, which is hilarious. The Rock Collection. The filthy rocks, dude. The absolutely disgusting broken rocks. What about Reggie's? I was 2-0 against Reggie on the weekend with Lugia. Why would I want to go play Reggie's? You know? Why would I switch to a deck that I did not lose to? I guess that's the same thing. I mean, I guess I didn't lose to... I didn't lose to Lugia at Toronto, but then still ended up deciding to play that, huh? So I don't know. I guess that logic doesn't totally check out. Dang it, bro. I do not want to play against Zorobox, so you can just slow bro me at the end of the game. It's not what I'm trying to do right now. You feel me? Hisui and Heavy Ball. Let's get this dude. Bring him out. Bring him out. This deck is so broken, dude. This deck is so gnarly, man. I said no. Yeah, discard that. Yeah, that's right. Do you see how gnarly this deck is? The deck is invincible, brother. How does a deck get so good? Unreasonably good. Get this Drapion out of here. This is peak deck performance. Yeah, we'll take that. I've got 2 in the discard pile. I can just retreat and attack turn 1. But it's always nice to let it rip, you know? That's fine. There we go. Sun Energy. Sun Energy. Sun Energy, baby. That's it. Moon Kinesis. The rocks are always viable. All right. They're... Yeah, you can't simply discount the rocks. All I have to do is get 2 prizes ahead and then I should win. So if I can do that, then I'm fine. Because they have this slow bro which can catch up if they're 1 prize behind. But if I'm 2 prizes ahead, then we're chilling. And they scoop because my deck is broken. Exactly as I thought. The rocks with 4 temple? That could do it. Holy smoke. But the Pokestop's so good. No, Temple doesn't matter because Lugia can just put 4 energy on itself and still attack. Okay, we're up against Mew VMAX. Let's do it. Let's do this thing. Trekking shoes. How am I supposed to make this decision if I haven't done a deck search yet? See? How was I supposed to know? Let it rip, baby. All right, that was not super duper great, but that's okay. Sun Energy, and it's looking like a pass for me, dog. That's cool. Lost City. Do you think this is going to be Fusion Mew or Double Turbo Mew? Either way, I'm winning. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. Temple can stop Stoutland from taking down. No, dude. They're gonna get it. They could just pump Kaboo away. On the turn that they want to attack with Stallion, they could just pump Kaboo it away. They don't care. If I was in a regional playing Mew and I hit Trapeon and rocks, I'd quit forever. Temple's bad. There's a reason. How many Temple of Sinnoh did you guys see in top 8 of that regional championship? Huh? How many Temple of Sinnoh? 0. Why? Card's bad. You know what a good card is? Path. Path's a good card. Temple of Sinnoh, bad card. How often did I talk? I think I told one opponent that they needed to keep up their pace at the regionals, maybe 2 at this past weekend. That's a really good question. I'd say usually once a tournament, I have to tell somebody to pick it up. Is like pretty regular. No, you just have to. You just be polite about it. You say like, "Hey, I just need to make sure that we're keeping up the pace of play." Because usually that's the line I say. Hey, we just got to make sure we're keeping up the pace. Because sometimes it's like it's nothing personal. It's just like you know you need to. You know, you just need to make sure that you're keeping up the pace of play. It's not personal. It's really not. You know where I actually... You guys want to know who the first player is who ever told me to pick up my pace of play? Because most players just don't know how to do 50 minutes in a best of 3. You know what? You want to know who the first person is who ever told me to pick up my pace? Yeah. Jason Klaczynski, 3-time world champion. Played against him when I was new at a regional championship. Played against him at my first ever regional championship. And the way he said it to me... Wait, could I have... No, I would have been 10 short. The way he said it to me is... he was just like, we both need to make sure we're just keeping up our pace of play. It was something like that. He's like, we need to make sure we're keeping up our pace. That was it. And it didn't, I wasn't like offended. I wasn't like, you know, I was just like, yeah, you're right. No, 50 best of 3 is fine. You just got to get good. You have to get good and you have to be on top of it. Ask me how many times I tied this weekend. Unintentionally. 0. Because why would I do that? Why would I tie? Okay, I actually want all these cards. Oh man, I can't force my opponent to scoop 6 to 1. I did have a situation. All right, so like one of my, I do not like it when if players try to be like egregious with like a 2-minute turn, like a 2-minute turn 1 deck search. Like, I'm not about that life. And if they got their notepad, they're trying to write down all the prizes. Like, nah, I ain't about that, bro. Keep it pushing. Like, you playing like that is making it so I can't play like that either. You know what I mean? Like, it's a two-way, like, playing a game is a give and take. Like, we're both out here trying to win. You hogging all the time is making it so that I can't be a time hog. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, like, if you play like that, then I can't play like that, or else none of us will be able to get out of this situation. What did I say? You got to keep up your pace. That's exactly what I said. I said, you have to make sure that you're keeping up your pace of play. My opponent retorted that it was about individual game actions and that they had longer on their first deck search. And I told them that their first turn was taking 6 minutes and they had to pick it up. The first turn going first took 6 minutes. I was like, dude, your turn is taking 6 minutes. You need to move. That's what it was. And it was, and like it wasn't disrespectful. It wasn't like, but it was like, dude, your first turn, I actually started looking at the clock. Your first turn took 6 minutes, you know? Like six minutes before I got to draw my card, bro. Like, you can't be taking, like, if you are going to do the full 2-minute, like, that already has got me going if you're doing the 2-minute turn 1 deck search. I personally think that that's like, I think that that's like kind of unsportsmanlike in my mind. But I know that might be controversial, so I think it's like, bro, we both got, like, check your prizes as you go, you know? Like, check the first couple things first, and then, like, go through, like, keep the game moving, you know? The 2-minute, like, a whole 2 minutes to check your deck, that to me is nuts. It's such a significant, and the thing is that, like, I'm a responsible player, so I'm not ever oh my gosh. Cool. I'm a responsible player. So the thing is I'm not going to, like, if I see you taking all the time, I'm not going to be like, well, I'm going to take my time too. And I'm not just going to, like, dig my heels into the sand and just say, I'm not going to dig my heels into the sand and say, like, oh, well, since you took all your time, I'm going to take all my time. Because then it's not going to work out for either of us. So if you're being a time hog and taking up all your time, even if it's, like, within your rights, it's disrespectful in my mind. You know, to do the whole 2-minute, write your notes, do all of that, that to me is disrespectful. Now, Azul checks his prizes, but he does it very quickly, extremely quickly. He doesn't do it in a way that makes you feel like he's wasting time. He does things, he moves extremely quickly. So, like, because Azul also has a little notepad and he's writing down his prizes and stuff. So, like, I get it. But he plays fast. He plays like he's on fire, you know? I mean, he plays very, very fast. That was the perfect card to top deck there. Dang, bro. I think I just lose here. Just out of juice. Out of scoop up nets. So it's a thing. I mean, that's part of the skill of playing a 50-minute best of 3, though. Is you have to know how to handle and how to compose yourself in those situations. It's not easy. It's not easy. There's not like a textbook on it where you can just like, you know, it's a learned skill. 50 minutes best of 3 is a learned skill that you have to work on to get good at. Yeah, I'm just going to lose this for sure. Yeah, it's a learned skill. So you just have to, and that's the thing, is I didn't tie once. But also, I check my prizes as I go. I don't, in my opening deck search, it's either there or it's not, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, real talk. Your prizes, it's either there or it's not. Hey, GG, Senior Doom. I figure out my prizes as I go. I check them on a need-to-know basis, and I feel like that's the optimal way to do it. In my mind. All right, I think I got to put the rock stack away. But yeah, check prizes on a need-to-know basis, you know, on a matchup-specific basis. Nice. I'm playing against Alex Szymanski, I think. What do you guys think? How do you think it's going to go? It looks like Alex is playing Lugia V-Star against my rock collection. This is hype. This is hype. I want to see how this matchup goes. This is what I'm here for with the rock collection. I want to play against Lugias. I think we can beat Lugia. It's possible. Stoutland is our enemy. We just need to make sure that we knock out the Stoutland as soon as possible. Battle VIP pass off the top is very good. I have prized 2 Soul Rock. That is exceedingly bad. That is really not good. Yeah, that is really bad. And I don't have any energy in my hand somehow. Yeah, that's bad. That's like real bad. Can't do anything to draw cards. There we are. Okay, trekking shoes. Okay, yes. Concealed cards. Alrighty then. Okay. Choice belts. Soul Rock. Sun Energy. Sun Energy. Scoop Up Nets. Battle VIP Pass. Serena. Draw 4. Okay. Let's go here and attack. I think I'll draw a couple more cards. I need to find that Hisuian Heavy Ball bad. Do that. Okay, Moon Kinesis. Here's Lugia. And Research. 2 Archeops in the discard pile. Should be a pretty straightforward turn. I expect Alex to Summoning Star and then pop my Lunatone with the Stoutland V. So I need to be able to respond to the Stoutland this turn. Another thing that I'm worried about in this matchup is the Amazing Raikou. If there's an Amazing Raikou, they could take 2 prizes that way also, which just makes my life really hard. Looks like they might just attack with Lugia this turn. Yeah, okay. And discard my Stadium. So sad. Okay, so we can easily finish this thing off. Let's go concealed cards. And then we've got Research. That's good. So let's go Rescue Carrier. Let's see. Yeah, that's fine. They have 130 hit points left, so I need too much energy. Yeah, 3, 6, 9, 12. That's enough. Scoop up Net Soul Rock. Put it back down. Quick Ball. Away Manaphy. Go get. Nobody will just Research. It's fine. Okay. And then we can do that. And Moon Kinesis for the knockout. Sure. We'll take Archaea. And I'm kind of just hoping that there is no Amazing Raikou. I don't really have the bench space for it right now. We find our 3rd Soul Rock, which is great, because operating with 2 is kind of not awesome. It looks like it is Stoutland time. So they'll take 2 prizes on the Stoutland, but then I can take 2 prizes on the Stoutland. And if I take 2 prizes on the Stoutland, then I kind of just win. Which is like the whole idea, right? They're going to go to 3, but then I can go to 2. Which is very good. But I have to knock it out. And I'm down 3 scoop up nets. It's not great. Okay, so. Choice. Other rock. Concealed cards. Hisuian Heavy Ball. All right. And I prized my last scoop up net, so. Oh, that's bad. We prized our last scoop up net. So let's go. I don't even know. Do we have it? Maybe. And then if I attach. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21. Boom! We got there. All right, cool. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21. 21's all we 21. 21's all we need to do, so that's pretty cool. We'll attach to the Soul Rock to be able to retreat, and Moon Kinesis for the knockout. And take our 2 prizes, hoping to just find the scoop up net. We don't. It's fine. Just need to be able to take back-to-back KOs. The Charizard might be a little difficult to knock out. It's got 160. Not awesome for us. And I've replaced all the boss's orders in this deck with Serenas, so it's not awesome. Getting Marnied. What the heck, man? It's cool. I got some time still, though. You can see how favorable this matchup is. You got so much time. You're like, cool, I need to knock out a Lugia, I need to knock out the Stoutland, and then I just need to go boom, boom, game. No, I guess actually I don't have time. Never mind. I do not. I need to take this knockout. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. Okay, all right, it's possible. It's definitely possible. So we quick ball. This is like the game winner knockout. I just need to find a Psychic Energy. There's 5 in my deck. That's crazy. All right. So then there's not any items that I really need. I just need to find an energy and I have it. So let's trek. And then let's bench. Let's do that. And then we're going to Serena for 5. I need to see it here. There we go. Oh, yeah. Easy. Conceal cards. Just like that. And we retreat. So we go 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. And then I could do that. Sure. Quick ball away that to fail to thin. And then Moon Kinesis for knockout. And with 1 prize left, should just be a Moon Kinesis for knockouts. But again, it's like, okay, I guess I'd be in a pretty bad spot. Hey, thank you, Professor Morph Plays, for that raid. Appreciate you. I guess I'd be in kind of a bad spot. If they have Amazing Raikou in the deck, I just lose. But, you know, I'm kind of just hoping that they ain't got it like that. Also, if they just attack with Lugia V, I just lose. Yes. Because I don't have any way around it. Dang it. And I can't knock it out. All right, so I need to put regular boss's orders back in the list. That's my fault. And I'm pretty sure my last prize is that scoop up net too. But how bad does that feel, you know? I took out all of our boss's orders for Serenas, which has made the deck more consistent, but yeah, I don't got anything. Can't do enough damage to Lugia. Can't move it around. So I think oh, well, that's because Lugia is the best deck in the format. Yes. You could play like 3 choice belts. You could go like 2 Serena, 2 boss, probably what I had previously. One escape rope's like pretty good. Serena's a fine card. It's a draw card in a pinch. Raihan, do we need Drapion? I feel like gusting every single turn is kind of hard to beat Mew. Yo, Drapion's so sick, though. It's so sick. So you need to play boss. The Serena's helped us draw quite a bit. 13 energy, it sometimes was like I wasn't opening energy in my hand and couldn't draw without. So that was bad. Escape rope's good. Let's just draw cards are good. Just like a Marnie or something. Like a Marnie and a rope. I actually think like an air balloon. Find myself in that situation quite a bit. And you want like 5 nets for sure. But you can't always get it, unfortunately. Can't always just break the rules and play 5 cards. Tough. Tough stuff. Yeah, I don't know. Escape rope's probably better than air balloon. Though it would be nice to be able to just like retreat for free sometimes. 1/1 Darkrai V-Star, now we're talking, dude. I do like the Battle VIP Pass version of this deck, but I guess you don't have to play the Battle VIP Pass version of this deck. You could play like just a combination of level balls and what am I playing against, dude? Could play a combination of level balls and fog crystals, but Battle VIP Pass is so powerful, dude. So insane. What's funny about this is even against a deck like Item Lock, you'll just win. I mean, I guess not. Not necessarily. They could Item Lock. They're not one-hit KOing your rocks. Yeah, you definitely are beating Item Lock. If you just like set up enough guys, I don't think that they can beat you. Because they're not doing 90 damage a turn with Item Lock against you. So they're going to hit you for like 50. They're going to 2-hit KO your Lunatones while your Lunatones are 2-hit KOing them. Some sort of Radiant Charizard grass box thing. What is going on here, man? Also, I do not want to Marnie my opponents. They have seemingly a dead hand. Come on. That's what I'm talking about right there. Good stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff. Getting that turn 1 knockout, baby. No, I'm not. Yeah, we do play quick balls. We play quick balls and trekking shoes. What'd you stack on top of that deck? Ah, scoop of net. Okay. Air balloon. Okay. Now you can retreat and do it again. Okay. Mysterious tail. And what you got? Quick ball. And that's it. All right. Well, that's it for me. All right. Short stream today because I'm tired and exhausted from a long weekend in Arlington, but thank you guys so much for joining me, and hopefully you guys all had a wonderful day. I'll be back tomorrow with some more Pokemon trading card game content. Thank you for all the support over the weekend and for all the support today during the stream. It was a lot of fun. We'll be back tomorrow. Congrats again to Connor Fenton on the win. See you guys